Thanks, Mr. Ajay. I would thank CII for giving Tata Power the opportunity to speak on this session and on a very exciting subject, which is demand-side management and energy efficiency. I would start with a brief background on Tata Power itself. We are the distribution company serving power to the residents of North and Northwest Delhi. We are serving a population of about 12.5 lakhs over an area of 520 square kilometers, and this is about 1/3 of Delhi. The peak load recorded last year was 1570 megawatts. Our annual energy requirement for our consumers is about 8,000 million units. The AT&C losses, basically aggregate technical and commercial losses, as of 31st March 2013 is 10.8%. We started from a figure of 53.5% on 1st July 2002. We have completed 11 years of operations in Delhi, and the losses are now reduced to about 10.8%, where about 8% is the technical loss and the remaining is the commercial losses. I'm trying to say that there is still a scope for reduction of the commercial losses, and we are moving forward in that direction. We have an employee strength of about 3,500 employees, and the load growth in our area, that is the CAGR, is about 8%. We are a joint venture company of Tata Power Company Mumbai, and the government of NCT of Delhi. It is 51 to 49%. 51% belongs to Tata Power Company and 49% to the Delhi government. A brief background of our journey over the last 11 years. We introduced the SMS-based fault management system to enhance customer satisfaction. The idea was to record the fault receiving time and the restoration time automatically through the SMS system. The AMR system, we started reading the meters of major customers through automatic meter reading. And today we have reached a figure of around 40,000 customers, which is much higher than 50% of our revenue. We actually have a 24/7 operational stores. We introduced as a concept the first time in the country, where the stores delivers the material to site directly. The whole idea was to enhance customer satisfaction. The ARPU package units in the 11 kV network, you can see it in the photograph to the left. It was put in Delhi, and today we have very large numbers of this. We have centralized call centers for no supply and street light related complaints. We introduced a GSM-based street lighting, which is unmanning the automated 66 kV and 33 kV grids. Today we have 62 grids, and these are unmanned. These are operated through the SCADA system. SCADA per se is normally used for monitoring. It's not used for operations in the electrical system, at least in India. There are very few utilities who use it for operations. We are definitely one of them. Yes, to take it up further, to take this road ahead for this automation roadmap, we have introduced the outage management system. See, normally when a consumer, even I as a consumer, whenever my power goes off in my house, I will normally have two questions in my mind. First is why it went off. And second, if it has gone off, then how soon would it get restored? The normal issue that a distribution company faces today, and we used to face also till about a year back, the guy who was replying the complaint, he didn't know from where this no supply issue has started, whether it is from the transmission network, or whether it is some grid failure, or whether it's a cable fault, whatever. So it actually needed an integration of lot of data, lot of databases, and the integration of the SCADA system, the SAP system, the GIS system, and so on and so forth, which has been achieved through the OMS, the outage management system. The outage management system can also forecast, based on the nature of the fault, where exactly it has gone wrong. Even if there's a fault in the LT network, the normal method is hit and try. But this one, it actually collates the complaints from the customers, and it can forecast that exactly where this has gone wrong. So whether it's a fuse which is burned in the distribution transformer, or whether there's a fuse which is burned in a pillar box, so all that can be predicted by the system, so that the person who is attending the fault can attend it much earlier. The whole idea is customer satisfaction and how we can enhance reliability of the network for the sake of our customers. And we are the first utility in the country, the distribution utility, who have introduced this OMS system, and it is running quite successfully. We also have energy audits at 4 levels, starting from the 66 kV level down to the distribution transformer, to identify where there are leakages of power. Leakages in the form of technical losses, leakages in the form of commercial losses, so that we can address those leakages and reduce our AT&C losses. We also introduced the high voltage distribution system, the HVDS. Basically, it is replacing a very large distribution transformer with smaller ones mounted on poles, on single poles. You can see the photograph on the right of the picture, which shows a very small distribution transformer. The overhead is an HT line, high tension line. It is very close to the customer. It feeds only a selected number of customers, very few customers. The whole idea is to reduce technical losses and reduce pilferage of power. Yes, GIS, Geographical Information System. This is a robust system that has been built up, and it provides information not only for the high tension and low tension lines, but also the service cables and the consumers, their addresses, and this is used in a very big way for network restoration, for meter readings, for bill distribution, and so on, for n number of usages. The bottom right photograph shows an AMR meter with a modem on the left side of the picture. This will show you why we have these initiatives for demand side management and energy efficiency. The whole idea is how we can lead a road of low carbon, how we can reduce the ill effects of climate change. That is the main motto which is driving us to take this initiative forward. To give a brief outline on what are the benefits of demand side management for people who would like to hear it. First of all, it's a win-win situation. It benefits the customer, it benefits the society, it benefits the utility. The customer is happy because his bill is reduced, his electricity bill gets reduced. If I change from an incandescent bulb to a CFL, or even better, an LED bulb, the consumption goes down. The incandescent bulb is a 100-watt bulb. The corresponding LED bulb will be something like 25-watt bulb, and a corresponding LED bulb will be something like 10 to 12 watts only. So the energy required by the customer reduces. Similarly, if you use star-rated appliances instead of an unstarred appliance, unstarred AC, to a 5-star AC, the benefits are huge. Society is benefited by a reduction of environmental degradation, conservation of resources like coal and oil, and customer welfare is enhanced because of lesser pollution. The utility gets benefited due to lower cost of service, improved efficiency, reduced capital needs, and improved customer service. Why capital needs gets reduced? If my distribution transformer today is feeding, say, 500 kilowatt of load, and because of a demand side management initiative, I can bring it down to 300 kilowatt. I may not have to augment the distribution transformer. I may not have to augment the 11 kV network. That is how the capital needs can be curtailed. And finally, the beneficiary is again the customer, because his bills doesn't go up. This slide will show the real financial benefit of demand side management. If I can save 1 megawatt of power, 1 megawatt of power requires about 6 crores as an installation cost, as a capital cost for power generation, and another 3 to 4 crores for transmission and distribution. And this year I am speaking only of the capital expenses. So if I can save 1 megawatt of power, I can save about 10 crores, 9 to 10 crores of investment in the power sector. This is the real benefit of demand side management. Today, the country is going through a shortage of power. There is a shortage of more than 10% of the electricity that is required by the country. A lot of it can be compensated by a reduction through demand side management and energy efficiency. And of course, the other benefits listed follow. It leads to better energy security. It leads to reduction of threat due to climate change, and it reduces the threat on the future generations. They can live a life in a better environment. We started our journey, Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited, by conducting a load research of about 10,000 customers. The objective was to understand the end usage of electricity, the types of appliances being used by different segments of our residential customers. I'll give you a brief outline of what really happened in that load research. The total number of customers were actually 10,030 as a sample, and from different segments of the tariff, which actually indicates different economic levels of the customers. What we could find from the load research is that the penetration of tube lights was 96.3%. CFLs was 89%. Incandescent bulbs was still 29%. That means the households, some households will have a mix of CFLs and bulbs. So 29% of the households still had some bulbs, and 89% of the households had at least one CFL. It also gave us an idea on the penetration of heating load. Geysers, for example, 71% of the households had geysers. 4.6% had immersion rods. 6.5% had room heaters. If we go to the cooling load, 99.9% of the houses had fans. ACs, 60.2% of the households had air conditioners. 45.4% of the houses had coolers. Now, this helped us to create a roadmap for energy efficiency measures. We started policy advocacy with the gas company for gas water heaters. And today, over the last 3 years, this load research was done 3 years back. And over the last 3 years, you find that the penetration of gas water heaters has gone up very high in the city. We have already done 2 replacement programs for refrigerators and air conditioners for our consumers. I'll come to further details on that. The awareness, there was a requirement for awareness on star-rated appliances. So these programs were designed in such a way that they also promote the awareness for star-rated appliances. Star rating provided by BEE. There was a requirement for energy efficient lighting program. We'll come to more. We'll come to details on this particular programs that we had. This was one of the initiatives. See, demand side management doesn't only mean energy efficiency. It also speaks about shifting the peak. So this particular program was done as a pilot to test the concept of peak shifting. It was done on 4 pumping stations of Delhi Jal Board. Incidentally, for people outside Delhi, the municipality is different. We have 3 municipal corporations in Delhi, North, South and East municipal corporations. And the Jal Board, the Delhi Jal Board, the water supply is taken care of by a different agency, which is the Delhi Jal Board. So this project pilot was done in 2009 on 4 pumping stations. And the shifting was done by 1.5 hours. And the measurement and verification has been done over the years. And there is a reduction of 2 megawatts. And this reduction was done over the peak hours of Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. So this is a successful project. Now, how to take it forward? The whole idea is there has to be some incentive provided to Delhi Jal Board. So that talk is on, and I firmly believe that we'll reach a conclusion where peak shifting can be put to use, and in a much larger volume, because 2 megawatts is very small for a city where the power demand is close to 6,000 megawatts. The peak demand of power is close to 6,000 megawatts. Now, this is one of the initiatives of BEE, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. They launched a program, Bachat Lamp Yojana. This was a CBN project where incandescent bulbs in households were replaced by CFLs. We supported BEE to a very large extent through advertisements, through reaching our customers, to reaching the customers not only through pamphlets and leaflets, but meeting the customers one-to-one in RWA and IWA meets. And the CFL distribution covered 50% of our area, and over 2.3 lakh customers were benefited, and 8 lakhs, about roughly 8 lakh CFLs were distributed. Finally, the scheme was had to be discontinued due to shortfall in CER prices last year. In this particular program, we had a special focus for the slum areas, the jhuggi-jhopis as we call in Delhi, because the requirement for CFLs in slum areas was much higher than in other areas. In other areas, in people with a better economic status, most of them had already switched over to CFL or to LEDs. But the slum dwellers, they couldn't afford to buy a CFL for 150 rupees or a LED bulb for 700 rupees or 600 rupees, whatever it is. For them, getting a CFL at the cost of an incandescent bulb was a boon. And we supported it. We actually we had put extra effort to ensure that the slum dwellers get the benefit of this particular scheme. Now this is a project. We did a pilot 2 years back in one of our buildings, which is written on the Senate building, where we found a benefit of 5-degree reduction in room temperature and 8% energy savings. The actual savings can go up to 15 to 20% because there are studies conducted. But we did this study over a brief period, and the conditions, different conditions, the benefits are different. But even 8% energy savings we thought is very significant. And of course, this is a large building, so with very thick walls, and the configuration of the building also matters. So later on we realized that this is not the building where you get the most efficiency, at the highest efficiency. So Dulux came forward and they gave a discount of 20% on the paint and 25% on the application. This was launched last year and 12,600 liters of paint was sold, and Dulux reported a jump in the sales by 30% after this program. So yes, they also gave us a lot of those printouts that you can see on the right hand side, which we attached with electricity bills, a few posters, a lot of posters in fact. The whole idea was to sensitize people of Delhi on the effectiveness of sun reflect paint. Now here there are two types of paints. One is for the walls and the other one is for the roof. In the roof we actually found that the temperature differences, the temperature improvement is by 7 to 8 degrees centigrade. So both the applications, both the paints are available. And of course the idea was to not promote any company but to promote the concept, because there have been very many studies done for Delhi, particularly the one by BEE, and this booklet is available in soft copy in one of the websites also, I can remember. But we wanted to try it on directly with one of our buildings and also with the consumers. Yes, here also the focus was more on awareness than on the figures achieved. There were, just like pamphlets were distributed through electricity bills, metro hoardings on metro rails, on the metro railway stations, there were some hoardings put up. Standees were put up in our customer care centers, and websites of course carried this. So we tried to reach out to a large number of customers through various mechanisms so that they understand the benefit of this sun reflect paint, which a lot of them did understand. This is a project we started on a pilot with our own customers about 1.5 years back. Here on the pilot, that time the cost was of much higher. For our own employees, the cost was around 500 rupees, and quite a few people came forward and they availed the benefit of it. But of course, even the 500 rupees was a discounted price. So last year we launched this for the customers, consumers, our consumers, and the scheme ran for 3 months and over 2,500 bulbs were sold. Here also a lot of sensitization of the customers was done. Through RWA meets, through pamphlets going with the latest bill. The next one is was a scheme launched in 2011. We did it at the end of the season, August to October, and it covered Diwali also. And here, 5-star and 3-star appliances were given at a discounted price to the consumers. Yes, in all these programs, we spent almost nothing. Basically, the manufacturers came forward. We tried to help the manufacturers reach out, and basically the objective was to promote energy efficiency amongst the consumers. Yeah, this particular program covered 5-star and 3-star appliances, and the result is given there. Quite a lot was sold, but more important was we were trying to sensitize to help the customers understand the value of star-rated appliances and why should they go for it. What are the benefits they will get out of it? Because in Delhi, the return on investment for an AC is less than 1.5 years, because here the temperature remains high for at least 6 months in a year. So if you use a 5-star appliance, the value for money comes in just more than a year's time. The next project is, we'll come up with a slide. Okay. So this is a project which was funded by Department of International Development, DFID, a UK grant agency, and this was facilitated by ICF International. It was launched in August last year. The whole idea, a lot of market research was carried out on the residential and industrial commercial customers. Again, the whole idea was sensitizing the customers and understanding their requirements. 2 companies came forward, names are given there, and they agreed to participate in this program. Here, of course, the restriction was 5-star and only 5-star appliances, and discounted prices were given, and the old appliance was to be recycled by the manufacturer. This is in the DSM portal. This is a NTPDDL, the Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited website. There is a portal dedicated to demand side management and energy efficiency. It starts from what is the need for it, and there are energy saving tips for different segments of customers, different types of customers, for home, for office, for kitchen, for children, so on and so forth. This is open not only to our employees but also to our customers. This was a project done a few years back where the metal halide advertising hoardings, metal halide lamps of advertising hoardings belonging to a company were replaced by LED fixtures. So a 150 watt lamp was replaced by 40 watt lamp, illumination remaining the same. The energy calculations and so on and so forth are given over there in the table below. So it's basically a 75% reduction in energy consumed. Yes, earlier this year, 15 to 21st February 2013, we celebrated the Energy Conservation Week in our company. The idea was to again sensitize our own employees on energy efficiency. So there were different themes to it. It covered our business associates also, the vendors, their families, the employees, their families, and it had things like e-quiz, puzzles, poster making, painting competition, essay and slogan writing, etc. The idea was that we should also sensitize the families. We should specially sensitize the children, because children are really the torchbearers for this sort of initiatives. When it gets into the head of a child, we have seen when energy efficiency gets into the head of a child, the child actually goes back home and he sensitizes his parents and his elders on how to take energy efficiency forward. Because children are very, very sensitive to these requirements. We also have a few projects at the concept stage. I couldn't list down all the programs, and I cannot, it's difficult to speak on all the programs that we've actually done. I'll come to brief about some of the important programs later. This is something that we are looking forward to. This is how we can improve energy efficiency in the SME clusters. That is, we have a large number of industries, but these are all small and medium industries, and how we can enhance the energy efficiency of these industries. Incidentally, we are also an ESCO, an energy service company, to facilitate this activity. This is another program we are looking forward to. Can we aggregate the demand of different customers? We can start with the domestic or the commercial or the industrial, doesn't matter. But can we aggregate the requirements of segments of customers so that we can purchase the lighting luminaire at a much lower cost, or the tubes and bulbs at a much lower cost, and distribute it back to the customers? Then the customer would be definitely more eager to buy those lamps, even though the cost is higher. There are a few more things that we have done to improve energy efficiency or to reduce the requirement of electrical energy from traditional sources. We have put up 15 solar panels on our various grid stations. And the highest is, of course, a 1 megawatt solar plant, which we have put up in our stores at Keshapuram in Delhi. The total aggregated capacity of solar panels is 1.65 megawatts, and we are really thankful to MNRE for their support for this program. There is a program which is in the pipeline, which is being implemented. It's a program on demand response. That means, this is, if I can reduce, suppose, see, we in Delhi, we provide almost 24/7 power. And now, if there is a sudden shortfall of power because of a certain generator going down, I should be able to meet that power shortage by tie-ups which are made in advance with large industries and large commercial companies. Of course, this is a voluntary thing, like the industry has to agree, or I cannot force him to do it. But this is a project which is definitely feasible, where when an industry which has agreed, or a commercial establishment which has agreed to participate in this program, I send him an information half an hour in advance, where he reduces his non-essential load, only his non-essential load for a duration of say 1 hour to 1.5 hours. And that reduction, that reduced offtake of power can be used to provide electrical energy to the other areas without going through the load shedding. This project is already in progress. We are actually, demand response has already been done by our principals in Mumbai, where there's an intermediate agency called an aggregator. We are trying the next level of demand response, which is an automated demand response, because a lot of our industrials and commercial consumers in our area have a building management system in place. So it can be directly hooked to the building management system, and the benefits, the customer has reduced his non-essential load. Now he should get some benefit. Yes, there will be some financial benefits which will be passed on to the consumer as per the approved rates by the regulator. Yes, it will be done. Now, what is this non-essential load? I think the natural question is, what do you mean by non-essential load? If you find a big movie hall, you have a few hundred lights, for example, right? Now, when you go to the movie hall, you find say 200 lights on. If I can switch off say 20 of these lights, it will not make a huge difference to me as a person who has gone to see a movie over there. So it will be a bit of inconvenience, but we can live with that inconvenience. Similarly, if we go to a commercial establishment, a mall or a hotel, which has say 8 lifts, out of those 8 lifts, if I can close down 2 lifts, I still have 6 lifts to work with. Now, it will be a bit inconvenient for the customers, but they can live with it. So that is what is meant by non-essential loads. So the whole idea is, let us switch off some non-essential load so that we can maintain 24/7 power supply. Yes, as a company, we have switched over all new distribution transformers that we buy are actually star-rated transformers. Now recently, even repair of distribution transformers, we have switched on to star-rated transformers. An old transformer which is burnt out, a 20-year-old or 30-year-old transformer which is burnt out, when I get repaired, I should get a star-rated transformer, not an energy inefficient transformer. We are also trying different things. In the meantime, we have tied up with the company which is making solar panels, and they are sending leaflets to customers through our electricity bills. So the usage of solar panels to reduce the consumption of electricity from conventional sources, from coal, from petrol, crude oil, and so on and so forth. So this is all I had to speak about